Hello and welcome to our next segment in our video series on Connect, Collect, and Visualize. My name is John Lee, Senior Manager in Manufacturing Intelligence here with Matrix Technologies.
And I'm Brian Paszczykowski, also an Associate Technology Manager with our Manufacturing Intelligence Department.
And so we want to get together and just say that we hope you have enjoyed our series on Connect, Collect, and Visualize, which outlines a strategy to unlock your manufacturing data to provide real, tangible value to your operations and team. We have repeatedly seen the positive effects and wanted to finish our series with a summary of how this comes together and provide some specific examples from recent projects.
Manufacturers today are moving towards more and more automated systems as they move towards digital manufacturing. The amount of data the systems produce is enormous, and the issue is sometimes that the data remains disparate and siloed and not always connected. There are many connected shop floor efforts ongoing in an attempt to unite the disparate data and make that data readily available to consumers, whether that's individual users, systems, or processes.
A lot of our clients recently are seeing quite a bit of value from a connected shop floor, and it really helps jumpstart that journey towards Industry 4.0 and working more with a connected or smart factory. And so today we wanted to walk through some of the examples of success where leveraging simple strategy of connect, collect, and visualize can really help start this and keep you focused on a digital strategy moving forward. And now we're going to switch to some of the examples with a PowerPoint presentation. All right, as we start our examples today, I just wanted to first go back and kind of summarize a little bit on the Connect, Collect, and Visualize series. This is something Brian and I and the team have done many times over with different customers, really just helping them, unlock the data and being able to leverage it, getting that real-time decision-making information into the proper hands, the right people, the right roles. But we really want to just kind of note, when we look at the Connect phase, this is something our system infrastructure group works a lot with. Cybersecurity is one of those paramount and priority things, as well as ensuring reliability within the networking. Sometimes it does require upgrading some of the control system equipment, maybe to get the correct Ethernet cards, being able to update, get the right VLAN architectures in place. But we do have a system infrastructure group that really works through that. And then as we start working on the collect aspects, there's a lot of things to bringing in disparate data, maybe from legacy systems or other systems. But our focus is really to help contextualize that data, work on the data modeling, kind of data cleansing, model it up, make sure we have some contextual information that we can put into kind of a central system. We do look at different platforms that have central data collection. We also look at unified namespace, different strategies, methodologies to put that together. And then, the key when we get to decision making, providing that information is on the visualize side, right? This is through dashboards, promoting data to enterprise, maybe cloud, enabling reports and analytics. So one of our first examples we have is a project that actually Brian worked on. It was for a life sciences customer. And they really wanted to start looking towards the future, Industry 4.0, using some of those enabling technologies. And Brian, if you want to talk, we kind of started with a transformational assessment, kind of helped them lay out a little bit of a roadmap, right?
Yeah, what we did here in this particular case is the client had lab data, and it was in those disparate data sources, as we talked about earlier. Lab equipment from many different vendors, different forms of connectivity. We pulled all that to a central repository. Basically, that lab data from the edge, brought it in, and then got it out to cloud-based historian for enterprise-wide visibility.
Yeah, in this pilot that we chose was, kind of unique in that it was that small area, and that's really what we try to focus on, is something to get some traction, start building that return on value. And the lab equipment, data was very disparate. There was some manual collection, a lot of Excel stuff. So as Brian mentioned, trying to get all those data components together was a little bit of a challenge. There was different technologies like OPC, DA, UA, as well as some native Ethernet. But being able to promote that data up to a cloud level, they did choose to go through up to the cloud. So that was really one of those first pilots that really helped them see the value of what transforming or what connecting was able to provide. So that was one of our first examples that we wanted to share. And Brian, I'll let you comment more. The data modeling, we did use unified namespace methodology. We did employ data models for some of the different data to make sure that we had the right layers of context.
Yeah, so as part of that, it was also included building that unified namespace, the model that lets different consumers of the data see what's there, what's available in plain language. They know exactly what they're looking at, and with many different ways to connect to that central repository and pull that data out. It fed reports, dashboards, and basically any software that could use OPC to get at the data or MQTT, it was there and available.
Yeah, and so one of the things I want to point out in the example is this comes directly from HiveMQ, and it's one of those great tools to help with modeling. We do use Ignition, just purely Ignition from inductive automation is another one. And as we lay out those data models, we really focus on the hierarchical, I guess, model or tree, right? So it starts with enterprise, site, area, line, cell, and this helps, know the location for all the assets, the processes, any of the data models that we deploy.
Yeah.
All right. So the next example we just want to kind of talk through was actually one of the food and beverage customers that we recently worked with, and this was actually in multiple facilities throughout North America. This project is ongoing for well over a year, but as they focused on different business cases, one of them was to deploy an MES or install an MES system across these multiple sites. They had different features they were looking for the business cases, right? Such as order tracking, monitoring production performance, and asset management. They had chosen Aviva MES for this particular one, and we've worked with a lot of different MES systems. But the core of putting in the MES is getting everything connected, right? Focusing on some of the critical assets and working through connecting up the shop floor and bringing in all the assets. And we've done this multiple times. We're showing an example here that is one of the, I guess, the OEE solutions that we employ. This is done in Ignition as well.
Yes.
And Brian, I don't know if you want to explain just a couple of the features. We have the 3 KPIs and tenets of OEE here.
Yeah, OEE encompasses availability, quality, and performance. It's a calculation that's done, helps determine the efficiency of your process or operation. This particular solution, it's more of an OEE light or an accelerator, very configurable, quick to deploy. We can get in, connect up some devices, and have information available in a matter of days, not weeks or months.
Yeah, for sure. And as this project went forward, it was known from the beginning as part of the roadmap that the MES would have certain features like OEE. So as we work through this, we kind of know what assets we're looking for, what is the critical asset for a line or a process area, and we can really focus on how we're pulling data through there. And that's important in the beginning that we create data models and that connectivity that is going to be a standard. And then, as well as you can create like enterprise or corporate standards and governance for how you're going to maintain those. but being able to have a standard data connection to your assets and the standard technologies that you're using allows you to be more agile as you go through from different areas and then different sites, and you can connect them all up into the enterprise. It really helps you accelerate once you establish those standard methods that you're going to use. And that's why we always, recommend starting with a very small pilot, kind of prove it out a little bit, and then go ahead and, extend and scale and really accelerate through. Again, this one went into many different sites, over a dozen, I think. And so it did take quite a bit of time. Some of the assets and lines did need upgraded from the controls, some of the hardware connectivity, as well as some of the networking had to, I guess, be upgraded to meet the new standards. So this was another one that really provided value once it started moving and collecting up the data, as well as being able to promote it up to the enterprise. And we see this time and time again, Brian, as well, with different customers and different industries, really looking for how do we get started, right? And how do we move forward?
Yep, in little steps. Pick a pilot, pick a specific area, identify a specific point of data that you want to start being able to pull into the rest of the enterprise, and start in steps.
Right. And I think, as we look at it too, we kind of defer like choosing technologies until later, right? And what I mean by technology, some of those platforms, right? We know how we're going to move data, what technologies are secure, they meet minimal technical requirements that we're looking for, extensibility, scalability. But we try not to just, paint ourselves in a corner, right? And do that vendor lock-in or really focus on software stacks. I will say that there are some very good solutions out there by some of the providers and some of our vendor partners. And, if a customer is already using those, we really look at, how can we take advantage of maybe what their current install base is, and how can we leverage those tools that are offered there. But again, just to kind of dial this back in is, as we look at things, it's that overall progress through the strategy, right? Connect, collect, and visualize. And that will really help enable you, whether you're looking at a centralized data storage or you're looking to go to the cloud, or those enabling technologies such as, predictive analytics or prescriptive maintenance, whatever it is that you're looking for, even the AI that is starting to become more relevant as it actually proves itself out. But those Industry 4.0 technologies, as we look to move towards that and have conversations and really see our clients starting to move that way, the core is still connect, collect, and visualize, right? And that's going to enable you and put you in that position that you want to be in for when new things are coming. So, Brian, I'll let you go ahead and wrap us up.
Yeah, for many users, having collective information readily available can be instrumental in making production changes, resolving issues, providing details for your change initiatives. Manufacturing intelligence is known to be a driving force in Industry 4.0, allowing visibility into manufacturing operations and enabling some advanced technologies such as predictive maintenance, monitoring, and maximizing your overall equipment effectiveness, OEE, and enabling AI for enhanced operations and connected workers. Having that data integrity and consistency is paramount when using a solution that does not involve manually pairing up data with multiple sources or multiple users.
Yeah, and we thank you for taking part and watching our series on Connect, Collect, and Visualize. Thank you.
Thanks.
Matrix Technologies is a single source solution for multidiscipline engineering, construction, systems integration, and digital transformation needs.